Hello, and welcome to Get In We're Going Healing, a place where we talk about mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being to help you learn to let go of the things that are holding you back from being your best, your greatest, your most authentic you. My name is Tova, and I will be your guide. Today, what I want to do is a reading for what it is you're not hearing. So, as we already know, around us there are signs, there are synchronicities, there are messages always being given to us through our guides, our spiritual guides, our ancestors, people we love who've passed on. And there are sometimes we just can't hear the message. We might be seeing it, we might be noticing it, but it's just not getting through. Today we're going to explore what it is that you need to hear that you're not hearing. A message they're trying to get through to you that you're just not hearing, okay? So to do that, we're going to choose 3 piles, and I think we're going to use, let's see, which deck are we going to use? Okay, interesting. We're going to use the Angel Oracle deck to choose what it is that we're not hearing, okay? All right, so we're going to give them a shuffle. We're going to choose 3 piles. Angels, guides, ancestors of those tuning in, please let us get the messages that we need to hear so that they can hear what it is they're not hearing. Help them get the messages that they need to know to help put them on the path of where they need to go. Thank you, thank you. One more shuffle. All right. 3 cards, please. 1, 2, and 3. Beautiful. All right. So as always with pick a card readings, this is going to be pile number 1. This will be pile number 2. This will be pile number 3. You just go with whatever one resonates for you. Check the timestamps. There might be a number that's significant to you in the timestamp. That might be your pile. Whichever one you feel called to, that is your pile. So when you are ready, find your pile in the timestamp, and I'll meet you there. All right, if you chose pile number 1, this will be your reading. Let's see what you got. You got Inner Power with Divine Father. Divine Father, thank you for co-creating my world with me. So already, the message I'm getting, the thing it is that you're not hearing, it's already alluding to the strength of your inner power and that you are the co-creator of your life. What does that mean? Being the co-creator of your life means that, first of all, you are not the singular creator. You are not the be-all and end-all of your life. You are not the one who creates everything in your life. And by the same token, divine is not the only creator of your life either. It is not all up to God, universe, source. It's not up to divine's will. Every single aspect of your life is not fated, let's say. You have a part to play in it. You have free will. You get to decide. You get to make a decision. Life is not just what happens to you, but by the same token, it's not everything that's in your power. You are a co-creator with the universe. You work together with the universe to create the type of life that you want. So already this is talking about what it is that you're not hearing. Maybe you're not realizing that you have the power to create your life, that there is something that you have the opportunity to make things the way that you want. You are co-creating with the divine. Okay? Divine Father, thank you for co-creating my world with me. You are co-creating with the divine. Okay, let's see what kind of messages we get to help you on this road. Okay? Just move this up here so we can see it a little. There we go. Right here in the corner. All right. So, divine, who's helping our pile number 1 co-create. Where are we getting our messages today to help them with more of what it is that they need to hear? What it is they're not hearing? Okay. We're being called to the Rider-Waite Colman Smith deck, traditional tarot deck. This is new to me recently. I had a Rider-Waite Smith deck before and I gifted it away. And I guess we're done shuffling. I recently acquired a new one. So this is the premiere time out with this deck. All right. So what does pile number 1 need to hear as they're co-creating and learning to create their own life? What do they need to hear? Okay, let's start there. All right. You got the World in reverse, Queen of Cups, and Page of Wands. Okay. With Judgment on the bottom of the deck. All right, let's talk about these 3 first. So the question we're investigating today is, what is it that you're not hearing that you need to hear? All right, so the first thing is, you're not at the end of the road yet. Things are not completed yet. Okay, this is the World in reverse. Okay, so the World talks about things being completed, cycles being ended. Okay, things are being done. Now, the World often talks about what we've got here is the snake that eats its own tail, okay, Ouroboros. We have different elements. We've got Taurus for the bull. We've got Leo for the lion. We've got an eagle. We've got a woman or a man. I'm not sure. And we've got this female figure in the center holding wands, and she's surrounded by, that looks like clouds to me. So the World talks about the cyclical nature of the world, right? Everything is cycles. You got it in reverse. So you're repeating cycles is what I'm hearing. With the World in reverse, you're repeating cycles. You're not yet seeing that there are cycles that you were involved in, and you're falling right back into them and you're repeating them. Okay. Along with the Queen of Cups, because these two came out together. The Queen of Cups is someone who is strong in their emotions. Okay, cups are our emotions. The Queen of Cups is strong in her emotions. She knows who she is. She's centered. She's balanced. And she's open. Okay, the Queen of Cups is open to receiving. She's receptive. Versus, let's say, the Queen of Swords, who tends to be more logical and cuts people off. The Queen of Cups is emotional, but she's open. She's open to hearing people out. She's open to hearing what they have to say. She's compassionate. She's empathetic. But she's not a fool, right? Queen of Cups is no fool. That's why she's the queen. She's not impetuous. She's not young. She's not easily swayed. She's very clear in what her emotions are. She's strong. She knows who she is. She knows what she wants. She knows what she deserves. And she's also willing to understand the emotional aspects of other people. She's empathetic and compassionate to other people's emotions. Okay, along with the Page of Swords, but the Page of Wands. That's funny that I said the Page of Swords. That might be something that you're dealing with possibly young thoughts, thinking patterns that are young. But this is the Page of Wands in reverse. So now the Page of Wands is about strong energy, desire to move forward, pushing. Think about the energy of when a new idea comes to you, a new passion, okay? When there's something new that you're into, you're driven, right? You're like, let's do this. Let's go for this. I'm into it. I'm totally down for this. I'm ready to do this. That's the Page of Wands energy, but you've got it in reverse, which tells me that there's something you're not feeling like. That's the energy of not wanting to do something. You're not excited about something. You're not into it. You're not driven. It's just not doing it for you. Okay. And because we're talking about a cycle that you're falling back into, a cycle that you have not completed, a pattern you're falling back into, I feel like this has to do with maybe being too empathetic to people, and it's making you not feel the drive. Okay, hold on. I'm getting a message. Okay, I'm getting this. The pattern that you're falling back into is allowing people too much leeway. You're giving people too much leeway. Because you're being very compassionate, you're giving people too much leeway, and it's burning you out. That's what I'm hearing with the Page of Wands in reverse. Lack of energy, lack of desire, lack of drive. It's burning you out. You're getting burnt out because you're giving too much to other people. You're giving them, oh yes, there's the chills. Yeah, that's it. You're giving other people too much leeway. You're giving, because you're compassionate, because you have a compassionate nature, because you are empathetic, because you understand everybody's emotional sides of it, because you see what's going on from an emotional standpoint, it's causing you to be taken advantage of. Yeah, that's how they want me to say it. You're being taken advantage of by people. And it's a pattern you have because you understand people so deeply emotionally, because you understand where they're coming from, because you understand how someone gets to a certain perspective, how they get to a certain point. You understand why people are the way they are, and you have great empathy and compassion, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. However, while everybody deserves empathy and compassion, not everybody deserves your empathy and compassion. What do I mean by that? There are people who are takers in this world, and they will take, 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 and they will not give back. They will constantly take because you're willing to give. And you're willing to give because you understand what it is like to not have. You understand what it is like to go without. You understand what it's like to not, oh my gosh, this is hitting a lot of emotions for me all of a sudden. So I don't know, maybe this is a big deal for you because all of a sudden I just got this wave of wanting to cry. This might be a really big deal for you where you feel it's very important to give people love and compassion because at some point that was not given to you. And it matters greatly for you to give that to people. The problem is some people recognize that you are willing to give that and they take advantage of your good-natured heart. And they will. And it's not... I believe that people are inherently good underneath the layers of pain and the layers of suffering. I believe that people are inherently good. However, that being said, there are a lot of people that if other circumstances existed in their life, that goodness could have come out. That goodness could have come to the surface. They could have become a good person. But life handed them a lot of difficult things. And instead of learning from these difficult things, they took the pain and they let it harden them. And now, yes, everybody has a gooey, soft center if you go far enough in there. But some people recognize that there's a good gooey center in there, but they're so surrounded by their own armor, their own pain, that they'll take and 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 they will take as long as you're willing to give. And that ooey gooey center that you think you're what is the word I'm looking for? That you are rescuing? Yes, that's the word I want. The ooey gooey center that you think you're rescuing, that you think you're bringing to the surface and you think that's going to encompass them. Some people are not the Grinch in the respect that their heart is not going to grow 2 sizes. Some people are not Ebenezer Scrooge. They will not see what the ghosts are trying to show them, and they will not wake up on Christmas morning and say, I've been wrong, let me make amends. Some people will stay the version of Ebenezer Scrooge before the ghosts. Some people will see all the ghosts and say, I don't care, this is who I am. The world did me wrong and this is how I'm going to be. Some people want their needs to be met so intensely that they're going to take from you because you're willing to meet their needs, but they are not willing to do the work to meet their own needs. That's it. Sorry, I didn't mean to shout, but that's it. That's the message they're trying to get through. This to me speaks of a narcissist. Now, I know that word is a trigger word. I know it's a buzzword. I know it gets thrown around a lot, but let me explain and dispel a little bit. My understanding of a narcissist is someone who takes and they takes and they take and they manipulate to get their needs met, but it comes down to, at their core, their ooey gooey center, they are a child whose needs were not met. And they never got to the point that they're basically children. I guess that's the way I want to say it. They're basically children in adult bodies. And on one hand, what you want to do is you want to help them because you recognize that all children should be cared for, all children should be sheltered, all children should be given the tools to grow and develop, but they should be loved and cared for with compassion and empathy. All children deserve that. There are no children that don't. All children deserve that. However, you're not dealing with a child, you're dealing with an adult who is embodying behavior that is a child behavior. That also screams to me of Page of Wands as well. Children. A narcissist is someone whose needs were not met, and they're still trying to get their needs met, even now in adulthood. And in order for their needs to be met, and usually not just to have them met, they want their needs to be handled. They want the love, care, and connection that they should have been given in childhood from everyone around them. And yet they still see it from a child's perspective, where a child is willing to manipulate to get what they want. And usually adults would grow out of that. A narcissist does not. They continue to manipulate others, say whatever they have to say, do whatever they have to do, behave in whatever way they need to behave to get their needs met. That's often validation. It's not even compassion and empathy, because they don't really truly want compassion and empathy. They hide behind their masks. They hide behind the person that they pretend to be, so that they can appear to be strong, because that's what they had to be when they were a child. That's what they had to be. They had to appear strong while pushing away their vulnerable feelings. But they still have needs. So they will manipulate the people around them to get those needs met. They want attention. They want validation. They want acknowledgement. They want someone to take care of them. They want someone to meet their needs. They want someone to do everything for them. Basically, if you look at it, they are big children. They are children who never grew up, but their bodies continue to age. Now, as someone who has a lot of care and love and compassion, as the Queen of Cups does, you'll want to help them because you have a big heart and you want to help these people. But this is where overgiving comes in, where you will do what you can to help them, but they'll take advantage and take and take and take as long as you're willing to give and give and give. And they'll take and take and take until they exhaust you. They'll take and take and take until they take so much that you have nothing left to give, and you don't have enough for yourself, and you don't have enough for the other people that you care for in your life, because you're giving so much to them, right? And it's not necessarily your fault. Your big heart is a beautiful thing, but discernment is really important, and understanding how much to give and when to stop giving. And those who have, I'm getting chills, so that's a really thing. I want to say that again. They're saying, say it again so that it can be heard. You need to know when to stop giving. Okay? There's nothing wrong with being a good person and giving, but you need to know when to stop giving. When to stop giving to someone who is basically just a bottomless pit and will keep taking and taking and never get filled up, because they will continue to take and take and take and take from you. Okay, so this is a cycle that I feel that you're in. And at the bottom of the deck, we have judgment. So this is what we see in this card. We see this angel here passing judgment on these people. Now, judgment can be both good and bad. But I feel that this is saying use your judgment, use your discernment. Okay, if there is a person in your life, and I know this is a collective reading, and I'm part of the collective, so I'm already feeling called out. This is already something that I know is relevant to my own circumstances right now. If there's a person in your life who has traditionally not given to you, and who has held what they did give to you over your head. Okay, this is what I mean by someone who will take and take and take from you. If they give to you, their giving is conditional. There are strings attached. They don't ever give unconditionally the way that you would. When you give because you want to give, not because you're trying to get anything back, not because there's the old adage of treat others how you want to be treated is misleading, because the implication of it is treat others how you would want someone to treat you. However, there are a great many people who take that to mean if I treat other people well, then they should treat me well in return. There's an expectation, right? Giving is meant to be given simply because you want to give, because you want to offer to another person, because you want to give to them with no strings attached. There's no implication that they're going to give it back. There's no implication that they're going to even thank you, although gratitude is always appreciated. But it's not given with the intention of being honored for it, being given an award, being given anything. It's not about accolades. It's not about even truly acknowledgement. When you give from your heart, you are giving because you want the other person to receive it. You want to see them happy. You want to see the joy. You want to see them in a better place. You want to give. There are people, particularly a narcissist, if they give to you, there are strings attached to that giving. They are not giving to you out of kindness. They are giving to you so that they can tell you later, this is what I did for you. I did this 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 for you. So because I did these things for you, you owe me. There's the strings. You owe me. People like that, again, I've got someone in my head that I know in my life. People like that don't ever just give back to you in kindness. It's not in kind. They're doing it so that they can exploit you. Do you understand what I'm saying? I hope you do. Okay. So you're being asked to use your discernment in regards to whoever it is that you're overgiving to, because this is a cycle that you are falling back into. Okay. Rather than completing the cycle, you're doing it again. Catch yourself and pull yourself out. Again, you are the co-creator of your life, okay? The universe is giving you lessons for you to learn. It's your job to learn the lessons, okay? It's not the universe's job to fix it for you. It's your job to learn the lessons that are being provided, okay? All right. I feel that we've gotten this message through about this particular pattern. Okay, we don't want to shuffle. All right, we're not going to shuffle then. What other messages, as we're co-creating for our pile number 1, as they're creating their own life, creating their own world, is there any other messages they need to hear? Any further messages? Not from this deck. Oh, there we go. All right. So we got these two that came out together. 7 of Cups, or 7 of Pentacles, being patient. 7 of Wands, fighting. 5 of Pentacles, or 3 of Pentacles. Yeah, 3 of Pentacles. Working together with someone in cooperation. All right. With Temperance on the bottom in reverse. Okay. So this message says, being patient, 7 of Pentacles. So in the order that it goes in Pentacles, the 6 of Pentacles is equal give and take. 7 of Pentacles is planting your seeds and waiting for them to grow, something that you've begun waiting for them to grow. 8 of Pentacles is putting in hard work, usually to reap, to keep things going, okay? 9 of Pentacles then becomes the reaping of the work that you've put in so that you can get the benefits, right? So it's interesting that we got 7, 7, 3. 7, 7, 3. So that might be an important number for you. I know in my life, 7s are important. That might be relevant to you. So 7 of Pentacles is about being patient, planting your seeds, putting in the starter of something and having to wait. Okay. 7 of Wands is about conflict, defending yourself. So let's look at the picture. We see this guy here with this wand and he's defending himself against these wands, right? So it's the energy of fighting, but it's also the energy of defense. You know, staving things off, pushing things away, holding your ground and fighting things off. 3 of Pentacles in reverse. 3 of Pentacles is working together with someone. This is in reverse. So it would be like 3 of Pentacles is collaboration. It's working with others. It's working towards a common goal. This is in reverse. So this tells me that either someone's not working towards a common goal with you or you're meant to do this alone. So when you put all these 3 messages together, what I'm hearing is you need to wait and protect yourself because this this other person's not working with you. They're not cooperating with you. They're not working towards a common goal with you, whoever this person is. I don't know if this is the same person or if this is a different person. Take the messages as they resonate, okay? But this is telling me that you need to wait and be patient and protect yourself. Defend yourself, protect yourself. Take what steps you need to protect yourself, okay? Because somebody is not who they're not working with you the way that they seem like they're working with you. Okay. This might be a coworker. This might be a boss. This might be a family member. This might be a partner. I don't know who it's going to be in your life. Again, take it as it resonates. But somebody in your life, they seem like they're working with you. They seem like it's a connection. It seems like a partnership of some kind, a connection, where they're supposed to be collaborating with you, working together with you. But they are not. And you're going to have to, I feel like with patience, wait it out and see. Wait and see how the chips fall, okay? But be prepared to defend yourself. Keep to yourself a little bit more. Have your guard up, okay? Because that's defending yourself. Have your guard up, okay? Be ready to deal with whatever this is. Don't just, have your walls down. Put your walls up a little bit, okay? Put your walls up and wait it out and see what happens. You don't have to confront anyone because, again, 7 of Wands isn't confrontation. You're not confronting someone. You're not, pushing. You're defending. Okay? So just be patient. Something's going to come out about somebody who is supposed to be working with you and it turns out is not working with you. Oh, I just saw a flash of light in my vision. Somebody's angels are present. Somebody's angels want them to hear this. There is somebody who is not being truthful. There's somebody who is working against you. Just be patient and let it all come out. Don't let on that you know, but look and watch and bring your defenses up, bring your guard up. Don't share so much. Keep it to yourself a little bit and watch and see what happens, okay? Bottom of the deck is Temperance in reverse. So Temperance is all about integrating things, being whole, okay? In that sense, it's being whole, right? It's balance. Temperance in reverse tells me something is unbalanced, and I have a feeling it's whoever this 3 of Pentacles in reverse is. Whoever it is who's supposed to be working with you and isn't, it's creating unbalance. There's an unbalance in that. So again, your advice there is to be patient and wait. Put up your defenses. Put things, and I don't mean like you have to be defensive. Not necessarily. I feel what this is saying is more is have a backup plan. Have a backup plan, okay? Be aware of where things might go. Be aware of what might happen. And just be ready, okay? Just be ready is the advice. I'm hearing just be ready, okay? So know that somebody is trying to play you for a fool. You don't have to go search it out. Just be ready. When it all comes out, you'll already know and say, yep, I saw that coming, okay? All right. So let's get any further messages. So anything else for our pile number 1 who is co-creating their own life? Anything else we need to hear? Okay, Energy Oracle. I'm going to pull a couple cards from Energy Oracle. See where it takes us. Okay. Our pile number 1s, please. What do they need to hear? What is it that they're not hearing? That their guides are trying to tell them and they're just not hearing it? What do they need to hear? Okay. Healer of the Ages in reverse. Your healing has stalled. You are meant to be a healer. You are not taking that road. Either you are meant to be a healer or you're supposed to be healing right now. And with it in reverse, that's telling me you're not taking that road. Okay. Magician in the Mirror in reverse. Again, imbalance. Okay. Magician in the Mirror is about having balance between the energies, one thing and another. and it's in reverse. So this is imbalance. So there is an imbalance right now between your energies. Okay. Woman holding a coin in the upright position, and community in the upright position, with man holding a heart on the bottom in the upright. All right. So woman holding a coin is somebody who's really connected to money. Now, I don't know if that has anything to do with this previous person. It might not. I don't know. Again, take it as it resonates for you. But the woman holding a coin, this card talks about, about valuing physical, tangible stuff. Money, particularly money with holding a coin. So somebody who's very focused on financial things, okay, and community, connecting with your people. So this healing that you're not doing, that's creating unbalance, it might have to do with this person. This person who's very focused on money. I don't know if that's the person in Three of Pentacles in reverse for you. It might be a different person. I don't know. But this could be you. This could be another person focused on money, focused on finances. You're being advised to connect with your people. Okay? If this imbalance is this person who's very focused on money, whoever it is, if this is the unbalanced and the lack of healing because of the lack of balance, this will be addressed by spending time with your community, spending time with your people. This might be volunteer, okay? Especially right now when this is coming out, this is right before the holiday season. It might be something for you to consider volunteering, maybe at a soup kitchen for Christmas, maybe donating some things to a local charity, maybe going and spending some time with underprivileged children and, to bring them a smile. Community can mean a great many things, but at this time of year, we have many opportunities for us to connect with our community. So oftentimes when we find, especially because if you were the Queen of Cups here, who wants to give, who wants to emotionally give, giving to your community would be a better use of your energy. Okay. Giving that loving, connecting energy instead of to this person who is taking advantage of you and burning you out. Instead, give that to community. And you'll find you actually feel better after doing things like that, okay? Bottom of the deck, we have man holding a heart. So there's someone who wants to give you more love. Now, this is man holding a heart versus woman holding a heart. There are both in this deck. So I don't know how this resonates for you, but there is some masculine energy who wants to give you love. I don't know if this is someone who's already in a relationship with you, or if it's somebody who's interested in having a relationship with you, or it could even just be a platonic friendship or family where there's a masculine person in your life who wants to give love to you. Okay. But whoever this is, they want to give you their heart. They want to give you love. They want to give you connection. Okay. I think that would be a better use of your energy than whatever's happening up here with this pattern that you're back into. But whatever it is that's going on, remember that you have the right to choose. Free will, as we found in our first card with co-creating with the universe, free will is your right. You have the decision. Everything that comes to you, every opportunity, it's like a choose your own adventure. Okay. If anyone remembers those books, the choose your own adventure book, if you want to do this, or if you want to follow the rabbit down the hole, go to page 623. If you would rather keep walking on your path, go to page 222. Do you know what I mean? Your life is a choose your own adventure. You get to decide. Spirit, source, universe offers things in front of you, and you get to make the decision whether you're going to do something or not do something, whether you're going to act on this thing or act on this other thing. It's all a choose your own adventure book. It's your story. So all in all, what I want to remind you is that when we started with our first card of co-creating with the universe, right? Your inner power, knowing that you are the person writing your story, and source is just helping you along. Remember that you get to choose, you get to decide what kind of life you want to live, and you get to decide how to step out of these patterns. You get to decide, whether you're going to let someone take advantage of you. You get to decide whether you're going to put things back into balance. You get to decide if you're going to do one thing or another thing. You get to decide if you want to follow finances or if you want to be in part of community. You get to decide if you want to follow love or money. You get to decide, right? I think that's the message of this entire reading for you, is you get a choice. That's what they want you to hear. This is your life. You get to choose. Okay? So pile number 1, if you're looking for a more personal reading, send me an email. It's in the description box. We can set up something more personal for your individual circumstances. If you are looking for more guidance on this healing with Healer of the Ages in reverse, and you're looking for more balance, you can follow my podcast. It's available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere you get your podcasts. It is called Get In, We're Going Healing. I try to release a new episode every single week, usually Mondays at 12:12 a.m. I was a little late this week because there's some illness running through my home, but I do try to release those every single week to help guide you along your path. There are about 3-4 seasons worth of content. If you're looking for more pick-a-cards, you can follow me on YouTube. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook, where I share lots of inspiring content to help you move forward on your path. Okay? I hope that something in this reading helped you. I hope that you do make the decision to start taking control of your own life and deciding what path you want to take. And as you keep moving, I hope that you continue to let go of those things that are holding you back from being your best, your greatest, your most authentic you. Love and light, pile number 1. Bye. All right, if you chose pile number 2, this is going to be your reading. All right, you got synchronicity. Thank you, angels. I trust your well-timed guidance and signs. So right away, what I'm seeing here with the yin-yang, okay, the yin-yang is about balance. The yin-yang is about male-female, light-dark, and it is a reminder that there is a little element of each. So everything that is light has a little bit of darkness. Everything that's dark has a little bit of light. There is no absolutes in anything. Okay, everything must be in balance. Everything has to have a balance. Okay, so even if you consider yourself to be call it very light person, I'm going to use air quotes because there's no really such thing as someone who's all good or someone who's all bad. None of that's really true. The implication here is that for everyone who is a good person, there's a little bit of bad in them. And for everyone who's a bad person, there's a little bit of good in them, okay? Nobody is all light, nobody is all dark, okay? So that's the first part I want to say. Now, about the name on the card, synchronicity. Okay, so a synchronicity is going to be something where you hear a phrase multiple times. You might hear it from a friend, might say a certain phrase, and then you might hear it on a TV show, or you might hear it in passing in a conversation somewhere else. That's a synchronicity. It's come up multiple times to you, okay? Numbers are a synchronicity. When you see things like 1212 or 2222 or 1111, 1111, 333, repeating numbers, okay? Even 1234, 1234, 123, 554, 32, numbers are a synchronicity, especially when you see repeating. When you see it more than once, it's meant to be paid attention to. That is a synchronicity, okay? They're often messages from the universe, messages from your guides, messages from your angels, ancestors, all of those. They're messages from a different, call it realm, different plane of existence outside of ours. It's usually something from the spiritual realm trying to get messages through to you in some way or another, okay? So the question we're talking about today is, what is it that you're not hearing? What is it that your guides have been trying to get through to you that you're not hearing? So the first thing is going to be that they're trying to get messages through to you through synchronicities. They're asking you to pay attention to those synchronicities. Pay attention when you see them. Those are their messages they're trying to send through to you, okay? If you do see numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, that's a counting up. Something's moving towards something. Something's growing. Something's getting bigger, right? If you're seeing things like 3, 2, 1, right? That's a countdown. Things are counting down to when something's going to happen. Because think about a countdown. It's counting down to when something's going to happen. So pay attention. Those are little guides and little notices from the universe, okay? All right, so for our pile number 2s, what do they need to hear? Okay, what is it that they're hearing what is it that they need to hear that they're not listening to, that they're not hearing? Okay, where do we want to go for these messages? Okay. They want to go with the Angel Oracle, where we pulled this card from. All right. So that's where we're going to start from. And then my eyes also fell on the African Goddess Oracle. So we're going to pull some cards from that too. All right. What do our beautiful pile number 2s need to hear? What is it they're not hearing that they need to hear? Okay. All right. So the first thing that they need you to hear is that they want you to make healthier choices. Okay. So we see this person here who's doing tree pose in yoga. So the card says, "Thank you, angels, for guiding me to make healthy decisions." So it might be that they're asking you to make better decisions for your physical body. Okay. They want you to make better decisions on the foods that you put into your body. They want you to make better decisions on how you move your body, what you do with it, okay? Remember that I'm going to call it your physical avatar, okay? So in the sense that you are the consciousness that lives inside your body, right? You are not your body. The way I explain this to my son is if you were like, let's say, Darth Vader, or Anakin Skywalker, and you had your arms and legs cut off by Obi-Wan Kenobi on Mustafar in a big old fight where Obi-Wan has the high ground. If you are that, do you stop being you just because you've lost limbs? No, you would say you're probably still you. If you lost arms or legs, you would still be you. If your ear was cut off, you would still be you. If you lost eyesight, you would still be you, right? Because you are not your body. You are the person who lives inside your body. You are the consciousness that lives within your body, right? Your body is a vehicle that gets your consciousness from place to place. And just like we have to maintain our cars, your body needs to be maintained as well. The things that you put into it, the way that you move it, the things that you do for your mental state. Healthy decisions are not just your physical body. They're also the type of media that you consume. Are you spending a lot of time watching TV? Are you spending a lot of time watching videos on the internet? If you are watching videos on the internet, what kind of content are you putting into your mind? Are you watching a lot of things with violence or fear-based, things that are going to affect your emotional state because you're consuming that content? What are you consuming? Physically, emotionally, mentally. Those all matter. If you're consuming a lot of content that is not great for where you want to be, if you want to be a high level, a high vibrational person, someone who's vibrating at the higher frequencies of love, compassion, connection, happiness, joy, those things, are you consuming content that is relevant to those things? If you are not, you're going to be holding yourself in a lower vibrational state, in states of fear, anger, frustration, intolerance, all those sorts of things, instability. If you're watching a lot of that content, it's going to affect you. It's going to affect your emotional state. It's going to affect your mental state, right? So that does matter in your healthy choices. When you are making healthier choices, you have to consider those things as well. Okay. So what you're eating, how you're moving your body, what you're consuming within your body in different various forms, and whether you're doing things that are going to purge those things. Taking walks in nature will ground you and purge it. Prayer will ground you and purge it. Meditation will ground you and purge it. Moving your body in healthy ways, dancing, exercise, martial arts, yoga, all those good things that will help your body move your body in healthy choices, okay? So we're going to move on to the next card is Archangel Zadkiel. It says, "Thank you, Zadkiel, for supporting me in transform from my past challenges." So this is about transformation. So what is it that you're not hearing right now? You are in the middle of a transformation. You were in the middle of going from what you were to being something different. Okay, I just heard Into the Unknown from Frozen. with Elsa, Into the Unknown. If you're not familiar with Frozen, you won't know the song, but it's essentially all about into the unknown, going into what you don't know. So you're transforming from a life of something that you know, something that you're familiar with. I'm willing to bet it probably is something that's not so healthy for you, in a life that you aren't really that satisfied in, and you're moving into something new. The trouble with something new is that we don't know what it is. If we already knew what it was, then it wouldn't be new, right? So it's the unknown. It's moving into something that you're not familiar with. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't have a script for what's coming next. All you can do is, I heard ad-lib. All you can do is ad-lib. Improvise is the other word they're giving me. Like improvisation. They're showing me, do you remember that old game show, Whose Line Is It Anyway? Where they're given something and they don't know what the challenges are going to be. They're just given a line or a situation, and they just have to work off of that and make comedy off of it, right? Improv. I feel like this is what they're saying is, as you're moving into the next stage of your life, it's going to be improv. You're going to have to go with the flow and just respond as it comes, as you feel natural to. You're not going to know what's coming. You're not going to know what the lines are going to be. You're just going to have to go with it, right? That's what I'm hearing with Into the Unknown. So they're saying that you're transforming from something that you knew into something new. Okay? And they're asking you to be aware that you are transforming from your past challenges. You are moving out of these things and you're moving into something greater, something better. Okay? They're also saying, thank you, angels, or thank you, animal kingdom, for blessing me my path with love. So spirit animals. So I don't know if your spirit animal might be your animal de compagnie, your pet. I don't know if that's just an animal that resonates with you. Maybe you resonate with squirrels. Maybe there's certain birds that you connect with. For me, crows are very significant in my healing path and my journey. I don't know what animal is significant for you. Take whatever resonates, however this falls for you. But they're saying that the animal kingdom is blessing your path. Okay. And they're blessing you with love. So when you see certain animals that are connected to you, know that that is the spiritual world sending you love, sending you connection, letting you know that they are here for you, letting you know that you have backup. Okay. On the bottom of the deck is take a step back. Thank you, angels, for helping me to step back from what's not serving me. So just like we talked about already with the healthy choices, I feel like they're asking you to take a step back and evaluate your life a little bit more. Have a closer look at what's happening in your life and see where it is that you need to step back from. Maybe it might be choices that you're making that aren't particularly healthy. And having a better look and asking yourself, does this serve me? Myself, I was using medical cannabis for a very long time to deal with issues that I was having with anxiety. And as I healed and learned better coping mechanisms, I found I didn't need the cannabis, but I was continuing to use it more recreationally rather than medically. And they gave me the indication that it was time to stop, that wasn't serving my highest good anymore. It did at one time, when I was deeply into my struggles with mental health, when I was having all these issues, it absolutely was beneficial for me. But they were telling me that it no longer served my highest good. It served its purpose, it did what it needed to, and it was time to let it go. So I did. But it took me some understanding that I needed to take a step back and look at it and understand what it is they were trying to ask of me. And it was hard for me to walk away from it initially because it was something that had been part of my life for such a long time. And truthfully, I enjoyed it. But it came with a lot of limitations, such as I couldn't just go out and drive to the store if I felt like I needed to get something, or if I felt inspired to, let's say, bake some cookies and I didn't have the right ingredients. I couldn't just get in my car and go to the store because you can't drive impaired. Not only is it illegal, but I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to risk somebody else's life on the road because I wasn't in my right mind state to drive. I wouldn't want to put somebody else's life in danger that way. That's selfish and stupid. So they asked me to take a step back and have a better look at that. And I realized that the benefit wasn't worth where I was at. It wasn't benefiting me the way that it did before, and it was time to let it go. Now, I don't know what it is. That's just an example from my life. I don't know what it is for you. But your guides are asking you to take a step back and look at your life a little more. What is something that is not serving you and you need to let go. It might be a mindset that you're stuck in. It might be a behavior that you're engaging in. It might be food that you're consuming. It might be content you're consuming. It could be anything. It's going to be individual to your unique circumstances, right? So they're asking you to have a look at your life, have a look at what you're doing in your life, and look and see if there's something that you're engaging in that is no longer serving your highest good. Wherever you want to go in your future, it's not helpful to you anymore. And it might have been helpful to you in the past. It might have been useful to you in the past. It might have been something that helped you get where you are now. And that's a beautiful thing, but you no longer need it moving forward. So they're asking you to have a better look. What is it in your life that you need to take a step back from that's not serving you anymore? Okay. All right. We're going to get some messages from the Goddess cards, because again, that's where my eye fell. So we're going to get some messages from the Goddess cards. I love this deck. This is the, let's see, the African Goddess Rising Oracle by Abiola Abrams. Spectacular cards, as well as she's got a book called the African Goddess Initiation that she's written. Also a spectacular book. I'm partway through it. I think it's an excellent book. Really lends into the African goddesses if you are of African descent in your genetic code. It's really nice to get to know some of the goddesses that were part of the African continent and part of the previous belief systems prior to Christianity becoming the dominant faith, or Muslim. Let's just call it, the big three faiths: Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. Pre that, there were lots of different belief systems in the world. And Africa had its own diverse connection of gods and goddesses that were relevant to the people of Africa prior to their enslavement. And these were often forgotten. And I think it's important for us to reclaim that and reclaim our lineage and our heritage. As a biracial person, it is important to me. It might not be to you, but I think that it is something that is worth looking into. Okay. Anyway, we're going to move on. What messages do we need to hear from our goddesses today, please? For our pile number 2, we're looking for synchronicities. What do they need to hear? What do they need to hear? Oh, Yamea says you're going through an awakening. Anything else? You're seeing the truth. Nunde says you're seeing the truth. Anything else? We're going to read from the guidebook. Oh, well, that was very clear. Hang on. We got a few that hit the floor. Okay. Allah with grief. Mumbuya Nahanda with radical rebirth. And Mama Jumbo with shine. All right. So let me give an overview before I give the understanding of the cards in the book. On the bottom of the deck, we have, with Junbei masks. All right, let's dig into this. So, the first card we got was Awakening with Yamea. And awakening, obviously, is about waking up. Now, in our current modern time frame, we hear a lot about, awakening and being woke and being conscious, and people use it as a way to minimize when we say, the woke community. And it's usually done with air quotes. And it's done to minimize those who are willing to look a little closer, right? Those who are still, let's call it asleep or unconscious, they don't want to see the truth, which is interesting that Nunde with the truth comes second. They don't want to see the truth, because in seeing the truth means that it exposes the lies. Pretty much. When you believe a beautiful lie, you don't want anyone telling you that it's not true. You don't want anyone telling you it's a lie, because you want so desperately to believe that it is true. Okay. The image I'm getting, I know this is overdone, but I'm getting the Matrix, when they come out of the Matrix and see that everything that they've thought was true was not, that the world they're living in was not actually the real world. But I'm also seeing, I can't think of the name of the movie. It's Bruce Willis was in it, and they live in these robots, these avatars that they live in, and they present the world. They present the world with these avatars, but they're really living in their apartment. There's another one too that's coming to mind. Ready Player One, I think is the name of the movie and the book. About everybody lives in this post-apocalyptic world where everybody is like really confined in their own spaces, and they all play online gaming. And they essentially try to heal the world. And then they end up coming out of their apartments and their video game, their virtual reality games they're in, and they meet in the real world. That's what I'm seeing, okay? When it comes to the truth, a lot of people don't want to know that they're living in a VR world. They don't want to know that they're living in a simulation. They don't want to know that it's not what they believe is real isn't real. And you're waking up. You're beginning to wake up and see that the world that you've been told you're living in is not actually the world you're living in. It is not really the truth of what's happening in your life. It's actually a lot of stories you've been told. Everything that you've been told who you're supposed to be is all somebody else telling you you're supposed to be that. Okay, it's society telling you you're supposed to be that. It's your parents telling you you're supposed to be that. It's your bosses telling you you're supposed to be that. And they're all doing that because they want something from you. They benefit from you staying in this place of unconsciousness where you just do as you think you're supposed to. But it creates a lot of misery because part of you knows that this isn't the life that you're supposed to be living. Part of you knows that this isn't who you really are. Okay? And with all of these laid out this way, including mask, with rebirth, with shine, with grief, I feel like all of these together are saying a similar message. You're beginning to wake up and realize that the life that you've been living is not your real life. It's not the real you. And as you're waking up, you're beginning to see who you are, okay? Truth, when we look at this card, behind her is a lot of like what looks to me like fire. We see a lot of these reds, which is red would be the root chakra. And the root chakra is about stability, security, stability. Okay. And we see like this volcano that looks like it's going to erupt. But when we flip the card over, we see abundance, right? She's surrounded by these beautiful jungles. She's surrounded by this lushness, right? It's showing you that the world that you are living in is not the real world. The truth of who you are is something you're becoming to understand. And as you learn to awaken to the truth, it's going to hurt. I'm sorry to tell you. But as you begin to understand that who you thought you were is not actually who you are, it's going to cause you grief. There will be a need to grieve the loss of who you thought you were. Okay? Let's say that you spent your entire life thinking that you were, I don't know, let's give a little bit more real world example. I recently found out just this year that I have ADHD. And the person I thought I was when I was a child, who didn't fit in, who was different, who thought differently. And everyone would always tell me that the way I think, the way I process is wrong. I don't do it right. This is how you're supposed to do it. I spent a lot of my life thinking that there was something wrong with me. And when I found out that it was never me, that it was, I think differently than other people, and there's nothing wrong with that. And now that we've come to this point of acceptance and understanding of ADHD, now that I begin to understand that this is who I was all along, there was sadness. I'm having my child tested for ADHD, and as I'm looking at this paperwork, as he's going through all these questionnaires, there was definitely a moment of grief for me as I begin to realize that had my parents taken this time to assess me when I was a child, it would have avoided so much pain that I experienced, so much heartbreak, trying to fit into a mold that I didn't fit into. And there was moments of sadness with that because I realized I went through pain I didn't have to go through. I went through heartbreak I didn't actually have to go through. Now, that aside, that might be relevant to you, that might not. Take whatever messages resonate, leave behind what doesn't, right? But as you begin to find the truth of who you are, you're going to grieve the person you thought you were. You're going to grieve the life that you thought you wanted. Because as you wake up to the truth of who you are, you begin to understand that you don't actually necessarily want the life that you thought you wanted, that you've been working so hard towards. You see this a lot when people wake up and they realize they've been, like, let's say CEOs of companies, and they were very, very happy, or at least they were very prosperous, and they had everything they thought they wanted, but they still felt empty. And then you'll find some that actually wake up, they leave those prosperous lives to live a life that is more genuine to who they are. And there is fear, and there's also grief as you learn to release this life that's not meant for you, but you were doing so well at. So well. Example would be Brene Brown. She lived her life as a researcher. She was a researcher, and that's what she did, and she was very successful at it. And she began to research grief. She began to research not just grief, but getting to understand more about what motivates people. And she started noticing patterns in things. And now she is a motivational speaker. She has written many books on how to live a more authentic life, how to live from the heart, how to live a life where you're not perfect. And it has been a radical game changer for her. But if you would have asked her before she began that journey, she would have said she is a researcher. That's what she does. That's who she is. She works with companies and analyzes numbers, and that's what she does. I guarantee you she felt a moment of grief when she let go of that life, because she'd put so much time and effort and energy into being that person and that version of herself. There's a moment of grief when we learn that we have to let that go. If we want to live a life that is authentic to who we are, we have to let go of the life that we thought we were supposed to live. Let's bring it back onto a smaller scale. Let's say you work in a factory. This is common. Many boomer generations convinced younger generations, Gen X, millennials, that the life we should strive for is having a job where we stay at it. We hit our 30-year at the job. We retire from the same job. We get out of high school, we start this job, we stay at this job until we get like our plaque and our commemorative clock and our commemorative watch and all those things that come along with when they acknowledge that you've been at the company for these many years. And that once you started a company, you're loyal and you stay there. You put in your time and you put in your years, and you're just supposed to die there. Okay, I've seen this from many people. In my city, we're a car-driven city, and there's a lot of car production factories. And you'll see a lot of people who work at some of these factories, and they say it's a good job, and it's good pay, and it's got a pension, and it's got a retirement, and it's got all these things. Even though they're miserable, they hate their job. They hate the existence of going there, but it's a good job, and it's just what you do. Right? So if you've grown up with this mindset that this is just what you're supposed to do, this is who you're supposed to be, when you realize that in order for you to have a life that's right for you, you're going to have to walk away from that, there will be grief. When I left my job as a massage therapist, where I thought I was going to be in that job until I retired in my older years, I genuinely thought I was going to be in that career forever. When I let that go, there was grief. Especially because I didn't know where I was going to go. I didn't have any idea, again, into the unknown. I had no idea where I was going to go. I had no idea what my life was going to be. I had no idea what was in store for me. And it was scary. And there was grief when I let my job go. When you wake up to the truth of who you are, there is going to be grief. Okay? But in order for you to move forward, you'll have to grieve and release what wasn't right for you so that you can have a radical rebirth. So we've got Mambuya Nahanda, right, with radical rebirth. And this is all about living your authentic life. Okay, radical rebirth, releasing the life that you were living so you can be reborn into the life you're supposed to be living, the life that is authentic to you. This is giving me notes of, I don't know if anyone watches Loki, the Marvel series Loki, but Loki talks about the sacred timeline, right? And then there are branches of the sacred timeline, and that each person is a variant of someone on that timeline. There's the original and there's the variants. There's the one on the sacred timeline, and there's ones that live in the various branches. The various branches are different realities where other versions of you live, okay? With radical rebirth, I feel this is putting you on leaving the life that you were living so that you can live the life that you were meant to. The original timeline for you, the one that you're meant to be on, the one that is your best life, your most authentic life, the life where you're supposed to be to create the ultimate happiness, right? I know there's a lot of pop culture references in this reading, more so than any others. But as you move through this awakening with Yemaya and Nande talking about finding your truth, and Allah talking about the grief as you leave behind the life that you were not meant to live, Mambuya Nahanda talks about radical rebirth, starting over, birthing into the new life that you're meant for. And in that new life, Mama Jumbo says you're going to shine. You're going to shine because your light is going to emanate from you. When you are living a life that's authentic to you, you shine. Your light just like exudes from you. From your pores, it's like a Disney cartoon where all the light just, right? You will, because you're living your authenticity, because you're living who you are, because you're being who you are and who you always were without anything else. This is why you shine, because you're going to be in the life that is authentic to you, the truth of who you are. You're going to be living that light and you will shine as you do that because you are you, because you are authentically you. And again, on the bottom of the mask, we had the bottom of the deck, we had Junbei with masks. I'll show you the card. This is why you'll shine. Because all these masks that you've been wearing, trying to be somebody else, are going to be taken off, right? And you will be the real you underneath all of the masks, the real person underneath all of the things, the lies that you tried to be, right? Again, we're talking about awakening to the truth of who you are, grieving the loss of the life you thought you were supposed to live so you can be reborn and shine, but you have to take off the masks. That's what we saw up here with transformation, right? Healthy choices, spirit animals, synchronicities, right? What it is you're not hearing that your guides have been trying to tell you and you're not hearing is it's time to let go of the old life so you can live the life that is right, the life that is authentic, the life that is genuinely you, so you can have your radical rebirth, so you can shine your light, so you can be who you are without all of the masks. That is the message your guides have been trying to tell you. However it is, and I'm getting chills, so yes, this is accurate. This is what they've been trying to tell you. This is what they've been trying to say to you and that you've been having trouble with, okay? Remember from the beginning, we saw synchronicities. So remember, every time you see a synchronicity, that is them giving you love. That is them giving you guidance. That is them giving you some messages, okay? And it's also reminding you that you're on the right track. If you see repeating numbers, look them up. See what they mean, okay? Remember that your spirit animals are there to show you love. When you see your spirit animals, it is your spirit guides, your animals, your ancestors, your spiritual team sending you love. Okay, let's get one final message for our pile number 2s as they are moving through. What do they need to hear? Where are we getting these? Okay. From the Heal Yourself deck. All right, one final message for our pile number 2s who are radically rebirthing, who are going through transformation, who are leaving this previous life, taking a step back to see what no longer serves them, removing the masks. One final message for our pile number 2s, please. Pay attention to signs. Oh my gosh, if that isn't the best. That's like, that is... And on the bottom of the deck, we have Phoenix Rising. Yes. So, I mean, okay, what did we see for our very first card? Isn't that beautiful that our last card matches our first card, right? Our first card is synchronicity, signs and synchronicities from the universe. Our final card is pay attention to signs. They're just repeating that. They want you to notice the signs that they're giving you. They want you to notice messages they're giving you. And they're telling you, just like we saw with Radical Rebirth, with Mumbuya Nahanda, we've got Phoenix rising. Remember that a phoenix has to burn down to ashes, burn down to nothing. And then from those ashes, it is born anew and rises all over again. So you're being reminded, pay attention to the signs, but understand that as you let go of this life, we've got transformation. We've got look at how they fell, right? Transformation, right under transformation is radical rebirth and Phoenix rising. There's 3 in a row. You are transforming. You are letting go of who you were, and you're going to burn down to the ashes, but you will rise as a phoenix. You will rise again from the ashes of the old life that you allowed to burn. Allow the transformation to happen. Allow yourself to be reborn as your genuine self. Understand that you are moving through this phase, and this is beautiful. Okay, this might be confirmation for some of you who might already know that you were on this path. This might just be a confirmation for you. That's what they want you to hear that you haven't been listening to, that you couldn't hear. Okay, so if you're looking to delve a little deeper into your individual circumstances, you can send me an email. We'll do a personal reading. That's in the description box below. If you are looking for more help on your journey, as you're healing through this, as you're making healthy choices and transforming, follow my podcast. You can find it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcasts. It's called Get In, We're Going Healing. And there's lots of different content in there. Find something that resonates with you. There's lots of stuff. You don't have to listen to all of them. Some of them might be useful for you. Some might not. See what it is that works for you to help you grow. Okay. If you found this helpful and you'd like to donate, you can find that in the description box as well, if you feel so called to. You can buy me a coffee or send me a donation via PayPal if you feel so called to do so. If you're looking for more guidance, you can follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram and Facebook at Get In, We're Going Healing, where I share lots of inspirational content to help you move forward on your journey and on your path. And as always, keep moving forward. Keep going. Okay, this is a journey. It's not about getting there as fast as you can. It's about growing as you go along the way, okay? So keep letting go of the things that are holding you back from being your best, your greatest, your most authentic you, okay? Love and light, fellow humans. Bye. All right, if you chose pile number 3, this is going to be your reading. All right, so you got the card, The Miracle of Prayer with Angel Sandalphon. Thank you, Sandalphon, for delivering my prayers to heaven. All right, so now we've talked about this on previous episodes of my podcast. I've talked about this in previous readings as well. Prayer has gotten a bad rep over the course of forever. Prayer, at least to those from the Western world, maybe even the European world, anywhere where Christianity has touched, prayer has been given this connotation of praying to God. And if you're someone who is not religious, someone who doesn't necessarily believe in God, or someone who's not of the church or of that faith of any kind, you might balk at that. You might cringe when you hear prayer. I know for a while I did. Whenever I heard the name God, whenever I heard prayer, I was like, no, connected to church. No, not interested. And then I took this course on 21 days of prayer to heal your life. And it opened up these ideas of different kinds of prayer that come from multiple different cultures and faiths. Now, if we get into, let's say just the word Om, okay? The word Om is about connection and oneness with Source, right? And in this course, instead of saying Om, she used the same concept of intoning Om and finding a frequency and holding it and allowing the sound to come out. But she used the words, I open, Amen. So like I open through one whole breath cycle, and then Amen through the second breath cycle. Now, Amen, when you break it down, it actually means I am, is the meaning behind it. I want to say that came from Deepak Chopra. I can't remember exactly which book. It might have been even been a reference that he had when he spoke with Oprah. But talked about Amen actually means I am. And it's not about saying to God, Amen, or I ask you to do this for me. It's saying I am. So if we use the concept of Om and Amen, understanding that this is prayer, reaching your voice to the heavens, reaching your voice to the higher frequencies is prayer. Prayer doesn't have to be, I know when I was raised, it was this concept of at the end, you pray before you eat. And there was bedtime prayers where you say, please bless, and you list off all the people that you love. Please bless mommy, please bless daddy, please bless, in Jesus' name, amen, right? That's how I was raised. Prayer doesn't have to be that. In the course, 21 Days of Prayer to Change Your Life, she starts off with, I let go, and so it is. And it's the concept of putting your worries at the feet of something higher than you, right? You don't have to carry the worries yourself. You don't have to carry the burden of these worries. You can release these worries to a higher power. It's often in church, it's given, lay your problems at God's feet, right? It doesn't, don't get caught up on the word God. Don't get caught up on the word Jesus. Don't get caught up on those things. Change them to a different word if it makes you feel more comfortable. That's not the point that I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is releasing the need to solve everything, right? I let go, and so it is. I let go of needing to solve this myself. I let go of the need to do this and make this happen and use my logic to create a solution. I let go of whatever it is, an emotion, a need, whatever it is. I let go, and so it is. She then goes into, it goes into allowing, and it goes, I forgive. The next part is I forgive. So it's forgiving other people for the pain they caused you, forgiving yourself for the pain that you caused others, and forgiving yourself for the pain you've caused yourself when you were unkind to yourself, when you judged yourself, when you said harsh things to yourself, when you were mean to yourself, when you doubted yourself, forgiving yourself for those things. Then the next part goes into gratitude, where you're grateful for what you have. And you list off things that you're grateful for. Now, to get a little more into gratitude, I did just drop a podcast episode on gratitude just this week when this is being released. Just this week, I released an episode about gratitude and about the vibration of gratitude and how that can change your vibration, change your perspective of the world. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you actually make yourself happier. Same as when you focus on things that you're upset about, you create a cycle where you go around and around and you're focused on the negativity. I'm angry about this and I'm complaining about this. And when you complain, you find more things to complain about because you're in the energy of complaint, of dissatisfaction, of being unhappy, and more things come to mind that you're unhappy about. And it feeds like a cycle. The same thing is true of gratitude. When you are focused on things that you are grateful for, it becomes a cycle where you are more grateful for more and more and more things. And just like anything else, when you are grateful for things, more things come to your life that you're grateful for. Just like when you're complaining about stuff, something else will happen in your day and you're going to go, oh, well, great. Now that happened. As if my day wasn't bad enough. All these other bad things happened. Now this new bad thing happened. When you change your mindset to gratitude, it becomes this good thing happens. Oh, look, this other good thing happened. Isn't that great that added to that? Oh, look, something else good happened. Isn't that great that added to my gratitude? Now this great thing happened, then this great thing happened, then this awesome thing happened, right? When we focus on being in a space of gratitude, we'll find more things happen in our day that we can be grateful for. Prayer isn't simply just asking God for things. It's appealing to a higher power, it could even be your higher self, your higher version, your healed version, appealing to your greater self and saying, I'm stuck, I need help, or open the way for me. You know how this goes. You know what's going to happen. Help me find the direction, right? It's gratitude and being grateful to the higher power and to your higher self for everything that has been given to you. It's asking for a different perspective. In that 21 days of prayer, it also goes into having a different perspective, helping you see things from a different perspective. So heal my perception of is the phrase she uses. Heal my perception of my boss that treats me poorly. Heal my perception of myself. Heal my perception of my partner. Heal my perception of my child. Heal my perception of losing my job. Heal my perception of this new opportunity being offered to me. Wherever it is that you're seeing something in a more negative light, it's asking for help in seeing things differently, right? And then it goes into please bless. And who do you want to bless with something good happening? Who do you want to give good energy to? Who do you want to have positive things to be grateful for happen to? Please bless. And then it goes into an ho'opo'ono. And a ho'opo'ono is a 4-part phrase that I want to say comes from the Hawaiian people, the Polynesian people. And it goes, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And this can be applied. It doesn't have to be given physically to a person, but it can be done within your mind. It might be you or a different version of you that you're saying, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. It could be to your partner, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. It could be to your child, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. Could be to your pet, it could be to a friend, it could be to a boss, it could be whatever it is that you've done that you're looking for atonement for. It's an I'm sorry, please forgive me. And then it's a thanking for the forgiveness and then reminding that there is love there. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Okay. So all that from the starting card, okay, for pile number 3, your miracle of prayer, okay? I will link the course in the description box. I'll do my best to remember to do that. If you are interested in taking the course, it is a wonderful course. It did change my life. When they say 21 days of prayer to change your life, I took it 3 years ago and it absolutely has changed my life. It has changed how I perceive things. It has changed how I handle things. It's changed allowing forgiveness. It's worth it. And it's allowed me to remember the idea of surrender and putting my problems down, and I don't have to solve them, and I can let go and let what's going to happen. Okay. All right. So for our pile number 3s, what else do they need to hear? Where do they need to hear messages from, please? Oh, inner guides. All right. So we're going to pull some messages from the inner guide oracle cards. Okay, so for our pile number 3s, the question today is, what do you need to hear that you have not been listening to? What messages do you need to hear that you have not been hearing? Okay, so let's find out. All right, well, there's our first messages. We have devotion, we have pleasure, we have discipline, solitude, and unconditional love. Yes, we do. With bottom of the card is death. All right, let's talk about it. So, devotion. All right, devotion is about giving yourself to something that is greater than you. When you devote yourself to something, you're giving yourself to something. You're giving it your all. You're giving it your attention. You're giving it your affection. You're giving it your love. You're giving it your everything. You're giving everything that you have to this thing. That's what it means to be devoted to something, right? So you're being asked to, if you're not devoted to something now, you should be. If you're going through life where you're just floating and you're not actually connected to anything, you're not devoted to anything, everything is just right? We talked about letting go and letting be what is. If you float through life where everything is simply just allowing it to be as it is, and you're just and you're not giving anything to anything, that's a pretty unhappy existence. There's nothing that really lights you up, nothing that really excites you. Devotion is about finding something that genuinely, truly excites you and giving to that, right? Next card we have is pleasure. So pleasure. What is it that makes you happy? What is it that brings you joy? Is it good food? Is it good company? Is it good relationships? And even within those, what brings you pleasure? So let's say you are in a romantic relationship. Are you doing things within that romantic relationship that brings you pleasure? If you're in a job that brings you happiness, are you doing things that bring you pleasure? If you're on your off time, what are you doing with your off time? Right? Are you spending your off time just disassociating and watching TV shows and playing video games? Or are you doing something that truly brings you pleasure? Yes, those things bring you dopamine, and dopamine brings you a happy feeling, but that does not necessarily mean that it brings you pleasure. Not truly. Pleasure is something that brings you great joy and satisfaction, right? Are you doing things in your life that bring you joy, that bring you satisfaction? Sure, getting to the next level on that video game will bring you joy, but it's fleeting. It's not true pleasure. It's not really. It's just a little dopamine hit as you chase the next dopamine hit, right? Pleasure is about being fully connected and in the moment. And in order for you to truly experience pleasure, you have to be present. You have to be in the moment. You have to be there for it. Like all of you, mentally, physically, emotionally, you have to be there in order for you to experience it. So already the message they're giving is there anything that you're giving your all to? And when you are you fully present to experience the joy that comes with it? Okay. The next card is discipline from the master teachers. And this is card number 33. So this is about staying focused on the things that you want. If what you want is a life of, let's say you want to be an artist, but you've never actually done art. Okay. No one taught you. We live in this beautiful digital age where there are tutorials everywhere. You could learn to do anything. Okay, we live in this amazing time frame where we could learn to do anything. If what you want is something that you lack the skills for, what is stopping you from learning those skills? If you're spending your time, let's go with that example of being an artist. Let's say you want to be an artist, but then when you have free time, what you do with it is you watch TV. You scroll social media, you doom scroll, as they say. You scroll and you watch these little shorts and you do all this stuff and you waste your time. That's not going to get you any closer to your goals, right? It's not going to get you to being an artist. If what you're doing is instead of watching tutorials to help you build your skills, you're just doom scrolling, you're not actually being disciplined. You're not getting yourself any closer to the goal that you've set for yourself. Right? So being disciplined is knowing what you want and working towards that, putting the steps in. And when distractions come, you remind yourself, that's not going to get me to my goal. That's not going to get me to what I want, right? Let's take it from a different example. Let's remove it from the wanting to be an artist thing. Let's say what you want is a happy relationship, okay? Because we're going off of devotion, we're going off of pleasure. The next card is discipline. So let's say what you want is a healthy relationship. And you keep falling back into patterns and you refuse to do the work to learn healthy patterns. You don't do the disciplined work to learn if I want a healthy relationship, what does that look like and how do I get there? If you are not taking the steps and you're just saying, it'll get there. Somehow it'll get there. That's not discipline. Discipline, again, is saying, this is the goal that I want. This is the outcome I want. So I'm going to take steps in that direction. So if what you want is a healthy relationship, then you have to learn how to be in a healthy relationship. And that usually includes healthy communication, healthy self-expression, healthy self-love, healthy compassion to the other person, healthy compassion to yourself. There are a lot of elements to that in order to get there, right? But if you're choosing not to, if you're falling back in the old patterns every single time, that's a lack of discipline. Because you're saying, I want a healthy relationship, but then you're not taking steps in that direction, right? Discipline falls in the category of anything. That's a skill of anything. Whatever it is that you're looking to get towards, whatever goal you've set, if you're not taking steps towards that goal, then you're not going to get any closer to it. So if you want that, it's going to require you to actually work towards that and to be disciplined, to tell yourself when you feel like, oh, you know what, today I'm just not going to do anything. Is the discipline of saying, you know what, I could use my time better. I could use my time more efficiently to work towards what I actually want. Okay, we're going to move on. Next card is solitude. Okay. So what we see here is this person in meditation under a tree, and we see the tree encompassing them as their higher self. And we see under here higher self, right? Card number 13. So this is talking about, first of all, what I'm hearing is not to be afraid to be by yourself. Okay. I don't know why. I don't know who that's for. I don't know. Again, take what messages resonate, leave behind what doesn't. I'm channeling for the collective, so I don't know what your situation is. This might be you, it might not be. Okay. Take it as it resonates. But I'm hearing somebody might be afraid to be with their own thoughts. Okay. Because it's higher self. Someone's afraid to be with their own thoughts. And it might be because they've got a multitude of ego versions of themselves in their thoughts. That might be inner child, that might be inner critic, that might be, the ones that are meant to keep you safe, but they keep you safe by telling you not to. They keep you safe by tearing you down. Okay. You need to be with them, because in order for you to find your higher self, your genuine self, your highest version of you in there, that version of you already knows what's going to happen. That version is the highest version. It's the most zoomed out version. It can see what you can't see. Okay. In order for you to hear that version of yourself, you have to get quiet and be by yourself. That's what meditation is for. You have to get quiet and be by yourself. I'm seeing, what do they call them? A float? Sensory deprivation tank. I'm seeing a sensory deprivation tank. I've done that myself before. They're showing me, a sensory deprivation pod, where the gist of it is the water temperature is the same as your body temperature. There's so much salt content in it where you float. You're not touching the sides. There is no light. There is no sound. There's no nothing. It's you and your thoughts. And because you're floating and you're not making contact with anything, and the water temperature is the same as your body temperature, your physical being stops being the thing that you focus on. So it becomes almost like you're in the void with your thoughts. And that's it. In order for you to find your higher self's voice, you have to be able to wade through all of the other voices, all of the other thoughts, all the other versions and varieties of you. You have to be able to do that. That's how you find your higher self. And that's where you find solitude in that. That's where you find connection in that. So if you're spending a lot of time with other people and you're not spending time by yourself, or when you have time by yourself, you're doom scrolling. And again, this goes with discipline. If you're spending your time by yourself, not engaging with your higher self, you're not going to help yourself get closer. Okay. The last card we have after that is unconditional love. So I feel like this is connecting with this solitude, with your higher self, where you're being asked to be more disciplined with spending your quiet time with your inner voice, with your higher self, and finding unconditional love for your inner self. Okay. So let's look at the card here. We see this mother figure and this heart and this child with the hands around it. It says Divine Mother. Now, this to me is card number 1. This to me talks about your inner child. Okay. Now, I've talked about this in podcast episodes. If this is something that you're really into, if this is something that is new to you, check out my episodes on IFS and ego work, shadow work, parts work. All those episodes will be very useful to you if this is what you're working on, is inner child work. Okay. Your inner child is the version of you that was a child. You are now not a child, but you were at one time, you were a child. And there's a very good possibility that if you are a millennial, a Gen Xer, or even honestly a Gen Z, that your parents, even Gen Alpha, depends what kind of parentage you had, your inner child was not validated. It was not unconditionally loved. There was conditions on the love. You are loved when you do what they ask of you. You are loved when you behave the way they want you to behave. You are loved only when you meet the criteria of who they want you to be. And when you were your genuine self, when you were your authentic self, for me, that meant a chatterbox, when I talked a lot. Love was taken away. Love was conditional. There was only certain situations in which love was offered. And when you did not meet the criteria, love was not offered. So what that did was it taught your inner child that in order to be loved, it must be something else. It must act in a certain way. It must be different than who it is in order to attain love. And that becomes the masks that we wear. That becomes the personality that we adopt in order. That's the good girl. That's the people pleaser. That's the, call it even the player. Okay. Like, that's where that even derives from. Someone who's a player is trying to get their emotional and physical needs met by finding a partner, but they're being inauthentic. They're pretending to be something that they're not, pretending to be who they think the other person wants them to be. And then they're often surprised when the other person doesn't really love them. Well, if you don't show who you really are, how would they even know who you are? Of course, they're going to be in love with the mask because that's all you've ever shown is the mask, right? In order for someone to genuinely love you, you have to take the mask off. You might have been called a pile number 2. There was discussion about masks in pile number 2, okay? Being your inauthentic self. If you want to be unconditionally loved, you have to be willing to be who you are. And that is a scary thing. To take off all the masks and be your genuine self underneath is terrifying, especially if you've always worn the masks. The idea of being the real version of you underneath, especially if that version was told that you were only lovable if, you were only lovable when, you only deserved love when, right? It's going to be very scary to be who you are, because there's going to be a fear there that if you are your real authentic self, you won't be loved. That the person loves you for who you showed them that you are, rather than who you genuinely are. But here's the thing, you'll never know until you do. You'll never know if the love that they have for you is conditional or unconditional unless you take off the mask. It'll just be a guessing game for the rest of your eternity. And if you do lose them, okay, let's go worst case scenario. If you do lose them when you take off the mask, did they really love you? Or did they love the person you were pretending to be? And wouldn't it be better to be the person you actually are and let go of a relationship that the person loves you for who you were pretending to be, so that you could find someone who loves you for who you are, that you could just be you and it would be okay, right? You're being asked here to find unconditional love, but here's the kicker. It starts with you. It starts with you being willing to love yourself without someone else. Because when we chase love externally, we'll never achieve love internally. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that if you're always looking for someone else to fill that cup for you, if they don't fill that cup, your cup is empty, right? Your love cup, let's call it. There's actually, that brings me to another point. I'm going to get to that in a second. I'm going to bring you back as a resource for you, okay? If this is something you're working on. If someone else is filling your emotional cup and they don't fill your love cup is empty. But if you are filling your love cup with unconditional love for yourself, your love cup will never be empty, no matter who fills it. If they add to it, they're just adding extra bonus, right? Your cup will never be empty. Now, with that in mind, there is a content creator on Facebook. I'm not sure if he's on Instagram as well, but he has a book called My Love Cup is Empty. And it is directed towards masculines who feel that their love cup is empty, who are waiting for feminines or other masculines, no judge, whoever you like is who you like, okay? It's directed towards masculines who are looking for other people to fill their love cup and wondering why their love cup is empty, and waiting for someone else to pour that love into their cup so that their cup will be full. And then having struggles when they are expecting someone to fill their love cup and that other person isn't filling it enough, right? The gist of it is, just as I've said, when you learn to fill your own love cup, it will always be full. And anything anyone else adds to it is an overflow of love rather than what is needed to sustain you. You get what I'm saying? So when we're talking about this, of what it is that you need to hear, your guides are saying you need to find unconditional love for yourself, the love that was not given to you. And to do that, you need to spend time by yourself to listen to your higher self. And you need to be disciplined in spending time with yourself so that you can develop unconditional love. You need to be more focused and present so you can enjoy the pleasure that is in life. And you need to find something that you're willing to give yourself to and let go of this need to just float through life. You need to find something you're devoted to, okay? On the bottom of the deck, we have death. And death is about the endings and beginnings, right? Death, often people are afraid of that. That's going to mean that you're going to die, and I disagree. That's never it. And even if you do, okay, let's just put that aside. If you physically die on this plane, your soul that makes up who you are, your consciousness, doesn't die. It's your physical vessel that dies. You, as an energetic being, continue to exist because energy cannot be created or destroyed, right? It just gets recycled into something else. You, as an energetic being, continues to exist. Your physical body is what no longer is existing. It's like your car dying. You who travels in the car doesn't die. Your car dies, right? And you could just get another car. That gets into the concept of reincarnation. But death is a transformation. It is the transformation of one thing into something else. In this, I feel this is talking about the transformation into who you were pre-finding unconditional love into who you're going to be when you find that love and when you learn to fill your own love cup, okay? Which is a beautiful thing. All right, any further messages for our pile number 3? Anything else you need to hear? All right, I'm seeing the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. So we're going to pull cards from the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot and see what you need to hear. Any further messages for our pile number 3 who are learning to find unconditional love, spending more time with themselves, learning how to find prayer, learning to be more disciplined, transforming who they are, finding devotion? What do they need to hear? Final messages for our pile number 3s. What do they need to hear that they haven't been hearing? Okay. Wow, you have a big message. The Hierophant, Hanged Man in reverse, 5 of Cups, Strength. This is the 9 of Cups in reverse, 6 of Swords in reverse, Page of Pentacles upright. All right. So the Hierophant is all about, and on the bottom of the deck is a Magician. Okay, this is beautiful. So the Hierophant is all about learning. Okay, it's all about learning and growth. To me, in this, I feel it's talking about learning your lessons, learning the lessons that are being offered to you. The Hierophant is a teacher, but it's learning. Okay, so I feel that this is saying you are learning the Hanged Man in reverse to change your perspective. 5 of Cups about your past, because 5 of Cups is about your past. You're learning to change your perspective about your past. It will give you strength to help you gain the things that make your heart happy. Okay. Strength card is, it's strength, but it's also about compassion. The Strength card is what you see here is she's addressing this lion. This lion is happy with her. If she came in to deal with the lion from a do as I say, trying to control mindset, the lion's going to bite her. It's by coming in with compassion and softness that she's able to allow the lion to come to her peacefully. There is strength in compassion. There is strength in softness. In this society, we see so much of strength is by force and by push and by control and by manipulation. But that's not actual strength. Okay? That's control. That's force. That's not strength. Okay? Strength is in allowing. Strength is in compassion, because she's allowing the lion to come to her. She's not making it. She's open and allowing the lion to come to her. The lion sees strength in her softness, right? So this message here is telling me there's a lesson to learn. You're learning the lesson about changing your perspective regarding your past. You're finding strength in softness that's going to help you get the things that you're desiring. 9 of Cups is having your heart's desire, but this is in reverse. Okay, so there are things that you're having that you want to have in your heart's desire, but you do not have them now. This is helping you find strength and softness in finding the things that you want and getting your heart's desire by letting go of the mental burdens that are not yours. 6 of Swords. Okay, 6 of Swords is carrying mental burdens. Swords are mental. Okay, carrying mental burdens that are not yours. Walking away from mental burdens that are not yours, which will help you get more tangible items in your life. Page of Pentacles. It will help the process to begin to grow. The life that you want will begin to happen for you as you begin to let go of the mental burdens that are not yours. Okay. So that might be things that people told you who you are. That might be, if people insulted you and told you you're dumb, you're stupid, you're this, you're that, and you took that in, as you learn to let that go, because it was never yours to give, it was never yours to carry. They handed it to you because that's how they felt, and they gave it to you and made you carry it. They were told, more than likely, they were told by someone that they were inadequate, and they handed that crap down to you and made you carry it. So you carried it as if it were your own. This is saying, let it go. It wasn't yours. It wasn't yours. It was never yours. They gave it to you and made it yours. It was never yours. Okay. Learn the lesson to change your perspective about your past. Find the softness and strength. Find the strength in the softness to allow yourself to begin to get the things that you really want out of life. Let go of the stories that you were told, the mental burdens that were never yours, so that you can begin to grow the life that you want. With the bottom of the deck is the Magician. The Magician is a reminder that you have everything you need to create the life that you want. The Magician has every tool at his disposal to make the life they want. Look at that. You've got the infinity symbol in both, in Strength and the Magician, right? So again, this whole message, go back to the beginning of our first card, the Miracle of Prayer. Ask for what you need. Let go of what is not yours. Ask for forgiveness. Be willing to allow and forgive. Find that unconditional love, because as you begin to do that, you're going to learn the lessons and change your perspective about your past. Change your perspective about who you were. Change your perspective about what you were told. You begin to let go of the mindset that was handed to you, so that you can work towards having the life that you want. You have everything that you need to create the life that you want. Everything. You have every tool that you need. That's a Magician. You have every tool that you need to make the life that you want. But you have to use them. They are useless if they sit there beside you. Again, discipline. They are useless if they sit there beside you and you don't act on them and you don't use them. So spend your time connecting with your higher self. Work on unconditional love. Work on enjoying your life and being present in your life. Work on finding something that brings you joy that you're willing to put your time and energy into. Right? Understand you can create the life that you want, but you have to use the tools available to you. Don't forget to ask your spiritual team for help. They will help you. That's what prayer is for. Ask your higher self. That your higher self will help you. Your higher self already knows what the highest timeline is for you and will help you get there. Okay? You are capable of creating the life that you want. Don't forget that. Okay? So for my beautiful pal number 3s, if you have a specific situation you're trying to deal with and you're not sure how to deal with it, send me an email. We can do a personal reading to dig more into that and get more unique advice to your specific situations. If you are on this path and trying to find unconditional love, trying to find how to get there, and you're not really sure how to get there, my podcast can help you. This is what I do. I've been on this journey. I've been doing this. I found unconditional love for myself from a place where I didn't have it. And I share everything I've learned on my journey with you. You can find my podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere you get your podcasts. It's called Get In, We're Going Healing. Okay. You can follow me on social media, on Instagram or Facebook, where I share videos and content. Sometimes I'll also do live readings as well. So I share lots of individual content to inspire you, to help you move forward and move past these stories that you've been told, help you get past them so you can stop carrying them, right? If you found this content helpful and you'd like to leave a donation, you feel so called because it helped you in any way, you can find that in the description box below. You can send me a coffee, or you can buy me a coffee through Buy Me a Coffee, or you can send a donation of any denomination through PayPal. Anything that you give is appreciated if you feel so called. Do not have to if you don't want to, okay? And I guess we're going to leave it there. So my pal number 3s. I hope this gave you some advice. I hope this helped you hear what you needed to hear so that you can move forward in the way that you need to. Okay? Until next time.